saying like fan casting for him. I don't know. I was like, all right, it'd be cool, but I don't know how everyone gonna react to it.
Me neither.
Yeah, I don't know, but it'd be cool. But hey, we are alive. So welcome back to another episode of your favorite nerdy podcast. We are here every Tuesday evening for you as our schedules permit. And that podcast, of course, being Comic
X Weeb! Ha! Ha!
I am your co-host, James, aka Comics for Cheap, aka hashtag send it to James, aka I don't know. I don't got another one for today. But I got my co-host here with me.
It's your boy Chris, aka Dino. Hit your boy with the music. Black Santa, aka Sticky Money Parkers, aka that's what they call me in the streets apparently, aka Super Cold Water sponsored by nobody.
Nobody.
Still ain't got no sponsors, but I'm telling y'all it's coming sooner than later. Maybe later than sooner, but it's coming.
Maybe later than sooner. I had a brief. It wasn't technically a sponsorship. I guess it can kind of count as a sponsorship for Bags and Boards. So there's a link in my Instagram bio. You can follow me at Comics for Cheap. And if you go to the link and enter Comics for Cheap as the coupon code for Bags and Boards, you get 15% off through August. So that's a small little sponsorship there for you. Help me out.
See? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little bit, like a little tiny thing, you know. Something's better than
Rave
nothing.
Shadows is gonna be up here. Rave Shadows and Manscaped. It's coming,
Manscaped. Bro, I need to be sponsored by Manscaped. I'm looking like a goddamn rainforest over here. I don't know what's going on.
I don't need all that, but we need Rave the Shadows though, bro. That's all. I'm a gamer, bro. Yeah. I'll be out there wrecking those noobs. Come on, Rave the Shadow.
That's right.
Then I have everybody with Black Santa. We be killing it, bro.
What are they thinking?
I don't know what they thinking.
Oh man, but all right. So we're here. We're not queer, but we're here, and we are here to enjoy another week of shenanigans. We're gonna talk heavy on the Thor today, but before we jump into that, I just wanted to say shout out to everybody going to San Diego Comic-Con this weekend. I hope you guys have a great time. And maybe we're gonna get some news out of San Diego Comic-Con. I'm not sure, but I'm hoping to hear a little something from a Marvel panel or a Disney Plus panel or whatever they got going on down there. San Diego Comic-Con being like one of the biggest in the world that happens. I think like SDCC, Tokyo Con is another one that's freaking massive. And there's a couple other ones that are, you know, just obviously New York Comic-Con. But we tend to get some kind of announcements with these events, so hopefully we get a trailer. There's a heavy rumors for a Black Panther trailer. What's up, Vinyl Dragon? Glad to see you.
My man was good.
Heavy rumors that there's going to be a Black Panther trailer, so heavy in fact that I'm going to bring some Black Panther keys to the show I'm setting up at this weekend, just in case people will be looking for them. I'm gonna have them one step ahead of the game. If there's no trailer though, I just won't put them out for sale. So
and I think what we should do, maybe not next week, maybe the week after, but just to get the Black Panther train going, we should maybe do a Black Panther episode where we read up on something on Black Panther and discuss it. We should do something like that soon.
Give me a good storyline, bro. I'm down. I've been looking for something new to read.
We'll do that.
All right, cool.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I've been just like reading random Avengers issues lately. I'm looking for like something fresh. So, give me a good Black Panther story. I'm down for that for sure. I can set up the slide now with StreamYard updating. I can actually like set up the slides. I think I told you last time, so we can actually kind of go through some panels on the thing as well. So that
should be really cool.
Yeah, man. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. Spoiler alert for those of you who have not seen the Thor Love and Thunder movie, whether you're catching us live or on the replay. By the way, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't
Smash
already.
it.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, if you haven't watched the Thor: Love and Thunder yet, or if you care about it, don't continue until you have seen it, and then come back and you can join the discussion. So,
yeah,
Thor: Love and Thunder, directed by Taika Waititi. Chris, this was like your top Marvel movie of all time, right?
James, I will come through that screen and slap the man. My God, it truly was, for me at least. It was Ragnarok, like ×2. Oh man, got here. What are you saying?
She is fresh, exciting. She is mighty, mighty. Let it all hang out fresh. It was Ragnarok ×2. You said,
man,
except
the jokes were, it was super hit or miss 100%. For me, most of them missed.
Okay,
but man, like I was excited. We're I don't know if we're doing like a break, or we're gonna do a breakdown piece by piece to talk about it. Sure. What do you want to do? Yeah. What do you want to
do? Give a review first, then we can do a breakdown.
Okay, all right. Review first, then. All right, I was very disappointed, which is so crazy because I came in there with extremely low expectations. I thought none, and yet I was still disappointed because I was sitting there hoping. My only hope for the movie was, okay, I know I'm not going to like this movie, but at least this will give us something major moving forward. Like I thought this would give us something big for either a mid-credit or end credit, or just something that will set up future movies that's currently happening. It's something. Maybe something that's going to be a nod to set up something even bigger in Black Panther. Something. But no, we didn't get any of that.
Right.
Christian Bale as Gore was amazing. He did a really good job, but we didn't get much of him. And then the girl who played, female Thor,
Natalie Portman,
yeah, female Thor. At least, like she wasn't bad, but to me, it came across as she hated her other roles, which she publicly said she didn't like her other roles.
Right.
And it seemed that she only did this role for the money. I truly felt that way. They gave her a check that was big enough, and she was like, "All right, cool." And that's what I felt her energy was for me. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't. It wasn't like great.
There was effort.
Really didn't do much of anything. I wanted more, and I got so they made Thor come across like such an idiot too. Like he came across like a big beefy fool in a lot of ways. Whereas, like, if you really read Thor is extremely intelligent.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of the movies just make him come across as like some jealous idiot.
And
how he was jealous against the Hulk.
Not only intelligent, but also he's always like just straight up like a beast. You know what I mean? Like there is no like, there really isn't a soft side. There's like a merciful side of Thor that's like as soft as like you can describe him as. Like he'll show mercy here and there in the comics, but for the most part, it's like kill or be killed type shit with Thor.
Yeah, and of course Thor could be extremely petty, like what he did to Tony when him and Tony be having their little back and forth, and how he like gave everybody Tony Stark's phone number. He gave the world Tony's phone number, and that was hilarious. Tony was obviously pissed, but it was fucking hilarious.
Final Dragon says Christian Bale was filming a different movie altogether. I think he thought he was in a Mad Max sequel. That's pretty funny. Why bring out the Guardians at all?
That was the thing. They was only there. It did prove what I said, though, because I was like, Gamora's not with them. And it basically proved what I was saying, because I knew she wasn't with them at the end of Endgame, and she wasn't with them.
I was completely wrong.
You know, it comes across as, James was telling me yesterday that we got the Christmas special, which I completely forgot about. Mm-hmm. So maybe they'll look for her there, find her there. Who knows? If not, then at least the beginning on most of the Guardian movie is going to be about them trying to find Gamora, and then we'll see how that ends up. Maybe that'll be the way they break them apart. Gamora and Star-Lord stays together. Maybe they actually do hook up and permanently stay together, and they retire somewhat or go on their own little adventures, and everybody else just go their own separate ways. Pretty sure Drax probably going to die, but outside of that, but back to Thor. Oh man, that's how I felt. What about you, Dino? What about you?
So I went in similar to you, very low expectations. I just kind of knew what to expect with Taika Waititi directing, with having Jane Foster Thor. So I went in and got pretty much what I thought it was going to be, like joke riddled, whatever. Jane did her thing. I figured someone was gonna die. I had a bad feeling they were just gonna kill Gore at the end of the movie. So for me, it was like, okay, well, that was kind of the movie I expected. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. So it was like, for me, it was just like, okay, it's there. Like, it's not there's no replay value for it, I feel like. And it's not like, I would definitely rank it lower. I still feel like it was better than Dark World. If I were doing a huge movie marathon, I would play it in the marathon of it. Like, I usually skip certain ones. Like, I'll skip Captain Marvel. I'll skip Dark World. I wouldn't skip this one. I guess that's like the best praise that I could give it. I also thought that Christian Bale did a phenomenal job, but we both kind of thought that going into it, that Christian Bale brings a lot to any part that he does, period. Yeah. And I feel like if they had given the whole movie the same energy and atmosphere they gave when Christian Bale was on screen, we would be looking at a totally different, higher praised movie. Period. You could still pepper some jokes in there. I'm not saying like don't make it not funny. They're called comic books, funny books. You know what I mean? Of course, have some humor in it. But what they did was just a little bit too on the opposite side of it, I think, for me. So for that reason, I was just kind of like, eh. Yeah, Eternity did look amazing. He basically looked exactly like Jack Kirby drew him in the comics. So it was like they copy pasted him right out of a comic book and put him on screen. I thought that was pretty interesting. Let's see. I still want to tie two goats to a hood couch and have them drag me through a Comic-Con. The goats were funny. I'll give the goats the props they deserve. Great acting chops to those goats. That was pretty humorous. But yeah, so as far as like the rest of the movie, man, it's just like, again, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was there. So there were certain parts I just when we finished it, we kind of like looked into it, and Alexis and I found that Marvel made Taika Waititi cut about 20 to 25 minutes out of the movie, saying that it was too long at 2 hours and 20 minutes or whatever. Okay, whatever.
You know what that truly means. That's code for we can sell more by doing a director's cut.
Yeah, well, I didn't even think about that. You're probably right. We could probably expect some sort of director's cut or extended cut or whatever to make its way to Blu-ray or Disney Plus or whatever. So because of that, I think that they skimped on Gore's origin, which would have really helped to build like him going out killing some other gods, like really showing the Necro Sword starting to possess him more and more. I still like what they did with the Necro Sword, being as they didn't have really the rights to Venom, so the Shadowland and the Shadow Realm with the monster was still creepy. I felt like they still had like that urgency for him as a villain. But again, like Gore was it for the movie. If Gore was on screen, it was a good movie. If Gore wasn't on screen, it was not a good movie.
True.
Natalie Portman, I felt like put in some good effort. what you said. You felt like she was just kind of there for a check. I feel like
to me,
maybe there for a check, but like I feel like there was more energy and effort than her previous appearances.
I mean, but you can also look at it as they actually gave her something to really do, because in the previous appearance, she really didn't do much.
That's true. That's fair. Definitely. But at least she like took it serious. You know what I mean? Like at least she, showed up and did the job. So for me, I was like, okay, no hate there for Mighty Thor. I'm glad that she's gone. Like we don't have to deal with her some more, but not angry at her performance in this movie. I feel like that as far as the humor goes, and we kind of talked about this too a little bit, but I feel like the humor should have stopped when the Guardians left. Like it could have been a nice, funny intro. Yeah. Oh, so funny. The Guardians need Thor because the Guardians probably wouldn't. That's, pretty accurate. The Guardians would need Thor to help fuck them some shit up. So, Guardians need Thor. Here's Thor, Guns N' Roses soundtrack in the background. Gore's fucking shit up. Ha ha ha. He destroyed the temple. All right. Bye, Guardians. The last little funny thing with them looking into each other's eyes, blah, blah, blah. All right, now it's time to get serious.
Yes, type of thing. I feel the exact same. I will say the only other thing that I felt they still could have kept would have been the part, and they showed it all in the trailers and stuff, when Zeus took his clothes off. They could have kept that one. They could have kept that one.
Oh, yeah.
And that would have been it for me. That could have been it. Because
speaking of that
name who started with a G, not Gore, obviously, but the other one, God, whatever his name.
You talking about the Rock dude, Korg?
Yeah, like that was terrible.
Dude, Korg?
He was so like terrible to me.
This is one of those things where
he was annoying, but they made it so much worse here.
Yeah. Ragnarok, he was annoying for me. Well, okay.
Ragnarok. It was fine though. It was fine in Ragnarok. This they took it to the extreme. They was like, oh, you there's a lot of people who like them in that. Now we're just gonna feed them down your throat.
Yeah, that felt like a corporate decision more than anything else. Like corporate Disney or corporate Marvel was like, "Oh, this is testing really well." Kind of similar to The Boys. Oh, he's testing really positive with the crowd, so let's make sure he's got some screen time. Our problem, of course, with Korg is that in the comics and in the Planet Hulk, World War Hulk storyline, Korg is a fucking savage. Like he is nothing like what you see on screen. He is a fucking ruthless motherfucker. So for the fact that they kind of did him like that, I was just like, all right, whatever.
That's part of my hatred of that Ragnarok Hulk garbage because of how they shitted and disrespected Hulk.
Ragnarok, if you take out the fact that they fucked up Planet Hulk, Ragnarok is still one of the more rewatchable. I feel like for the casual fan, Ragnarok is still one of the more rewatchable movies in the MCU. It just is. It's got good replay value. I feel like it's a good story from beginning to end as far as like in your movie universe. If you didn't know shit about the comics, then it is one of those movies that's like from start to finish, it's one of the more cohesive stories.
And hey, it had a badass and big event at the end of the movie that actually mattered.
Yeah.
Where this
one Yeah. No. I feel like Ragnarok was longer. It just felt longer. Like there was more stuff going on.
Because I remember reading that they were saying that this movie was one of the shorter ones of Marvel.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, they cut 20 minutes. Like, why do they need to? Who's complaining about sitting an extra 20 minutes? Besides,
it's like it made it seem like they cut a whole hour. Like we cut 20 minutes. You couldn't just give us the 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes. It's not like that
besides
long.
The Eternal, we had a 3-hour movie for the Eternals. We couldn't have a 2-hour 20-minute for Thor,
which no one wanted. No one even wanted the Eternals. And no one liked it. Like before the movie even came out, you had people like, none of us want this. But yet you couldn't give us 20 minutes of Thor. Okay. That makes sense.
There's a problem when you see the commercials say the Kansas City Gazette says 2 thumbs up. Who the F is Kansas City Gazette? That's funny. Yeah, I mean, so all in all, I mean, I give it a 6. As far as like 1 to 10, I give it a 6.
Wow, I give it.
You're not gonna be as generous, I know, but
no,
that's kind of where I'm at.
I give it a 0.5.
A 0.5.
I give it
Damn.
No, I can't give it that low. Yes, I can. I give it a 0.1. No, I would probably honestly, I would give it a honest to God, I would give it a 4. And a lot of that is because of
4,
Christian
okay.
Bale. Like,
Yeah,
because of him,
Christian
it
Bale
boosted up so many points. Where without him, it would legitimately be like probably a 0.5 or a 1. But because of him, I can at least give it a 4. Because I'm telling you, man, I did not enjoy my time in that theater watching that movie. I was very, very angry, and like it was so many times where I was like, I should just walk out. Like if it legitimately wasn't because honestly, if I would have known how the movie ended, I would have left. I wouldn't have stayed and watched it because what made me stay was like, all right. And I started like telling myself random crazy stuff that can happen. I'm like, yeah. But at the end, we gotta have fucking Silver Surfer come down at the planet, and he's gonna be like, "This is gonna be for my master." I started just coming up with random shit. So eventually, I was like, "This when I knew I was losing it," because while the movie is happening, mind you, this how bored and pointless it was to me. I'm like, yeah, you know what else gonna happen? Like Vader's gonna show up. And like he's gonna force choke somebody.
Get out of here.
Like out of nowhere, Han Solo's gonna show up. He's gonna shoot somebody. Like some crazy shit. This is gonna be fucking crazy, bro. Like, oh my god. Like like seriously, that's what was happening in my mind. Like I even got to a point, I kid you not, where I'm like, I could probably reimagine the entire Goku versus Majin Vegeta fight in my head. That might be more interesting than what I'm watching right now. So I was so bored and just disappointed in what I'm watching. I was like, this is just shit. This is shit. And like the one thing I did like was some of the throwbacks, and at least the one throwback I like was at least for me, this was a throwback, or at least a Easter egg for me at least, was when she before Jane died. And she, you know, through the whole movie, she was trying to come up with a catchphrase, and she whispered it in Thor's ear, and we didn't hear it, obviously. And he was like, "That's perfect." It reminded me of what went down, of how Thor became unworthy to begin with, when my man was on the moon or whatever, and Nick Fury whispered in his ear, and we didn't know what that was until later on. We found out he said Gore was right, and I was like, that was to me, I thought that was cool. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. It reminded me of that. I mean, maybe I'm stretching here, but that's what it reminded me of. And I was like,
you know what she whispered in his ear?
What did she whisper in his ear?
It's Thorbin time.
I hope that isn't it. I hope that isn't it. I really do. But I can see that somehow being it.
Shit.
I also thought it was cool that that was actually Chris Hemsworth's daughter who played Gore's daughter. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool on a personal level. I was like, that's pretty cool. He got
seems like some nepotism a little bit going on there. I feel like there could have been other.
I thought it was cool. Dino did not.
Look, it's taking a job from another alien girl that could have gotten that part, bro. There's alien actors out there, bro.
All right, bro. Anyway, bro, it's gonna go past that one, bro.
Yo, so speaking of Thor and you know, how chiseled he had to be for the part that he had there, because you were kind of talking about where Zeus does the flick or whatever. There was a brief story that came out that his wife was complaining about how ripped he was, saying that it was too much. So I thought that was funny that she was complaining about this man looking like no other man on earth.
Bro, I am going front. If I was him and she would have said that to him, I'm like, I might divorce you today. Like, I'm not even playing. I'm like, I might divorce you today.
Just go on social media and post a picture, a nude or whatever, and as a thirst trap, see all the girls and be like, all right. Peace.
Be like
with the caption, yeah, my wife thinks my wife hates my body. What y'all think? Just like a little thirst trap like that, you know?
My wife has shamed my body.
Yeah, but I just got body shamed by my wife.
Body shamed by my wife.
Goodness.
But
he was talking about how he's like, hitting the gym hard during COVID, and that's why he looked the way that he did. And I was like, oh, but probably also the steroids that Disney and Marvel gave you, right? Like,
come on, man. Come on.
There's probably also that. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, no one achieves that look in their 40s naturally. So
don't do that. Don't be hating.
I ain't hating. I'm speaking the truth. I'm speaking the facts.
You hating, bro.
That Marvel gives you a little vitamin cocktail. They tell you it's vitamins. It's good for you when you're working out. But really, it's testosterone, HGH, D-ball, and
God, hate. I gotta call the homies, bro. We need to get
that
hate back going, bro.
Hate? Damn, bro. This myself, like bro. I'd be taking that shit too.
The haters ball.
I'd be taking that shit too. I would definitely take that shit.
I need to go get my hate cup. Cause we hating hard, huh? Damn.
Look. I would also do it. I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying let's recognize the facts of what it is. He didn't do this eating chicken and rice and broccoli.
I ain't hating on my man, bro. He did a good job.
He also had some extra vitamins.
Nah, bro.
It ain't no Flintstone vitamins. It's not Flintstone vitamins coming out the bottle. All right.
Flintstone vitamins.
Ain't the little gummies that are coming out.
Bro. Don't be hating on those
I'm saying.
All right.
This is the type of vitamin that you got to bend over and poke your butt a little bit. That's right.
Tranquilizer, bro.
Tiny Easter egg that Vinyl Dragon noticed was that Daryl from the shorts where Thor lived with him was in the movie. He was in the clubhouse when the big hole appeared in the ceilings. Okay. I didn't notice that. Is that when he was playing the video games and stuff? When he was fat Thor? Chubby Thor? All right, so let's go ahead, and I have a little exercise for us. Not a physical exercise, but
we're gonna I ain't doing shit.
Yeah, we're gonna do some jumping jacks real quick on the podcast. We're gonna talk about we're gonna rank the MCU's Phase 4 movies. So there's 6 of them so far. We have Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man, No Way Home, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, and Thor: Love and Thunder. So 1 through 6, if we can give them a ranking of 1 through 6, and we'll see what we think about how they're doing so far. So go ahead, Chris. Why don't we start with you? Again, it's Black Widow.
Yeah, because I'm definitely a reminder of the movie. So Black Widow. Okay.
Shang-Chi,
Black Widow. We got Quan-Chi. We got Spider-Man. We got Thor. Strange. We got Strange.
Yep.
And what's the 6th one?
Eternals.
Okay. All right. So I would say.
All right. What's the number 1? How about that?
Number 1 is Spider-Man.
Number 1 is Spider-Man.
Number 2 is Quan-Chi.
Really?
Number 2 is Quan-Chi. Yeah.
Okay. Number 2. Okay.
I would give number 2 Quan-Chi, which honestly, part of me wants to switch that because I think I enjoy Quan-Chi more.
Okay.
And maybe it's biased to Spider-Man while I'm putting him at 1. I'm not even gonna lie.
Okay.
I'm gonna switch that. Quan-Chi's 1, Spider-Man's 2.
Shang-Chi, Spider-Man. Okay.
Strange is 3.
Strange is 3. Okay.
This is where the shit comes in, I think. Let me see.
You got Eternal, Thor, and Black Widow left.
Okay. Like I said, the shit now. The top 3 are in a whole nother league than what these last 3 are. Like, this is not a thing of like 1, 3, and then 4 is like close to 3. No. The top 3, you can switch the order, and you can even say Strange can be 1, and that's not a problem. Because I feel you're gonna say Strange is 1, and again, that's not a problem. It's just how I like them, and I definitely felt Quan-Chi gave me the most enjoyment. And hell, yeah, all right, Quan-Chi, Strange, Spider-Man. That's my top 3. I'm going with those as 3. Quan-Chi's 1, Strange is 2, Spider-Man's 3.
Hold on. Because you started your list. You were like Spider-Man number 1.
Let me finish.
Okay, I'm letting you finish.
All right, let me finish. All right. Quan-Chi, Strange, Spider-Man, and then
You can hum Hotel California before you decide.
You said what?
He said just sing like a song while you're deciding.
Yeah, I know. This is the shit here. Seriously, these movies suck. But I have to go. Black Widow is 4.
Oh,
then I have to go. I will have to go. Black Widow is 4. I would honestly have to go. Thor is 5, and I would have to go. Eternals is 6.
Wow. Okay.
Eternals was the worst movie to come out because it was long, it was pointless, and it was boring. That was the worst it could have been, honestly. Like, as bad as Thor was, like, Eternals was like legitimately 5 times worse.
Okay. Wow. All right. So you heard it from Black Santa. Black Santa's list was Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and then Black Widow, Thor, and Eternals as his top, or as the 6. All right. So for me, I'm going to agree with you. I think Shang-Chi was the number 1 as far as entertainment value, story-wise, cohesive, start to finish.
Yep.
I was there for Shang-Chi. I know that it got a little weird as far as the end, and then they killed Death Dealer real fast, and it had its issues. I'm not saying it was a perfect movie.
It wasn't perfect,
but as far as entertainment and something that was different,
and the changes they did to how the rings work and all that stuff was actually really good.
Yeah, it made sense for the universe that is there.
Let's call it what it is. Shang-Chi is legitly let's be honest, he is a B-rank hero.
Less than
that.
Like,
he's not one of the big-time guys. But they made him extremely powerful and important moving forward.
Yes.
Like, that's all you can ask. Bravo. He's one of the heaviest hitters there now.
And one of the best fight choreographies since Winter Soldier.
Yes.
So all of that together, I agree with you. Shang-Chi is number 1.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Doctor Strange as number 2. So far,
our lists are similar.
Our lists are very similar so far. So Shang-Chi and then Doctor Strange. Now's where I'm gonna differ from you a little bit. Okay.
Don't you dare say Black Widow.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Eternals is gonna be my number 3.
Are you freak?
Yeah. Yeah. And you're just gonna have to marinate in that for a second. Eternals is my number 3 because it's very difficult to world build. We have to remember that. As far as boring or long, you can't really say anything like that when you look at the first Captain America movie, how long and drawn out that was. I'm not saying it was boring. I don't necessarily even think that the Eternals was completely boring. It had some parts that seemed to drag on a little bit. But as far as world building, celestial explaining, and the cinematography, I'm going to have to put Eternals as number 3. Then I would put Spider-Man. I would put Spider-Man as number 4 because I had a lot of issues with that Spider-Man movie. I would put Thor as number 5, so we were both putting Thor as number 5. I would put Black Widow as dead last. And that's kind of where I'm at on that one.
Wow.
Santa, I gotta agree with comics. Don't shank me, bro.
What he say?
Yeah, so he says he's got to agree with me, but don't shank him.
I might have to, bro. I can't agree. Oh my god, bro! I'm very disappointed in you, Dragon. You my guy. That kind of hurts. That you, my god, Dragon. What the? But seriously, Dina. All right. Well, you know what? Hey, that's what you like, man. I mean, I disagree.
That's just my opinion. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I have to disagree because I don't think they did a good job world building. Honestly.
Okay.
And I think they had so much focus on the wrong things that it just brought the movie down. They tried to force so many political things in a negative way. They just didn't know how to handle that. It was meant to be positive, but they just didn't know what they was doing there. And it just was so boring. And honestly, even though you can make the argument that it does set up something with the Celestials and all that stuff in the future, I don't think they did a good job doing it. I really just don't think they did. Even though technically you can make the argument
best thing that they did in that movie.
Right.
was explained to Celestials and stuff.
But I don't think they
I'm
did a
the
good
same.
job on that.
No.
I just don't.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So, and again, that is huge, and that will set up something major in the future if they just say fuck it and just leave it alone. Who knows?
Right.
But in theory, yeah, it does set up something. But it was just so boring to me, and it's just all right. No, that's fine. That's your order, and I mean,
where I'm at.
That's where you're at. We definitely have huge disagreements there because I got them last. I enjoyed Widow more than that, and I thought Widow was utter garbage too. But again, like I said, the final three was just garbage.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is what it is. But damn, yeah.
All right, we can move on from that. Let's go ahead.
I want to say one more thing about Thor.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Something else I thought was I want to ask you a question. So when it comes to because this was interesting when I was talking to a guy at my job and he was telling me about his the stuff he didn't like about the movie. He didn't like the movie neither, but he also didn't like Ragnarok because of the disrespect and it was too jokey where he was like same thing I was saying. Ragnarok is a big serious moment in the comics and they turn it into a fucking joke. And that's what brought down Hela. Where if you look at a lot of people, they're like, oh, Hela's one of the worst villains. Where honestly, she's not. It's just the movie made her seem so much worse because of how jokey it was. It just brought down a great villain. But anyway, what do you think of Jane Foster's dying because of the logic of when she becomes Thor, it kills away because cancer. The way chemo is basically poison put inside you to fight the cells. So when she turns into Thor, like the way a god's immune system is apparently the way it works is it automatically kills the poison cells and everything and blah blah blah. Do you think that makes sense in theory? Because he was like, his biggest thing was the guy I was talking to was like, he didn't understand how she died from becoming.
I think what it was is that
and he was like, oh, okay. But still, what do you think of that?
I think because I think even if I remember correctly from the comics, even in the comics, it was that when she was holding the hammer and she was Thor, she was Mighty Thor, it was like nothing could, hurt her because she was in like God form. Right. But at the same time, she wasn't getting any treatment in human form. So the cancer was getting worse and worse and worse, but not while she was Thor. So then when she wasn't Thor, it's almost like she jumped forward in time when she went back to human form. It's like
now she's back.
Now you're back. Now you're back. Not only are you back, but you're back and you haven't been treated in human ways. So the cancer is a lot worse. It was already stage 4. So guess what? You only had X amount of months to live. You're spending X amount of months as Thor. So when you come back to human Jane, you're pretty much on your deathbed. So for me, that's kind of like it made, they didn't really explain it at all in the movie.
No, they did.
But for me, it made sense. But again, maybe it was part of the shit that they had to cut out. They had cut out 20 something minutes of the movie. Maybe that was one of the minutes where they just briefly explained what was going down there. So for me, it was like I understood what was going on, but I'm sure the way that they made it seem like in the movie that the hammer was killing her when that's not the case.
Yeah,
right. I mean, they're like, oh, because Thor was sitting down, like, oh,
what the movie heavily implied that because she was transforming, it made it so much worse for her. And again, they didn't explain it like I did, where it was like, oh, well, this is why this is really doing this. They didn't really do a good job explaining that because, like, when I explained to him, he was like, oh, okay, I get that, but that kind of doesn't make sense in terms of how that should work. I was like, no, I feel you. It's still like a comic book thing, because obviously we don't know how a god body would work, but it is what it is. But okay, so my last 2 things on this for you, questions. What did you think about the way they basically said she was worthy because Thor was like, I need you to protect my girl at all costs. He told the hammer to protect her at all costs, and that's basically what made her become female Thor. What do you think of that?
It was weird. The whole thing with the hammers was weird. Where he was talking to the hammers, he's talking to Stormbreaker. They're having like little conversations. Apparently, they get emotional, they get jealous over each other. I don't know. That was strange. It was very odd. I was not a fan of that at
It's like a
all.
love
So
triangle.
yeah, that was very weird. Uh, I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck? Even Alexis at one point, she was like, "What is this?" I was like, "Yeah, obviously it's just Taika Waititi trying to add some humor into it. I really have no explanation for that. Like, there is like he will of course kind of talk to the Hammer, in the comic books, like
Yeah.
Mjolnir, come to me, or like like me, you can't stand by Mjolnir, whatever he says in the comic books at the time in battle. But he's not sitting there like having a fucking chit chat conversation, just him and the Hammer in a room or nothing. I've yet to see that panel anywhere in comic books where he's like, "It's me and you, baby. You know, we're gonna go far." And you know what? If anything happens to my girl, though, I need you to do something about it. You know, make sure that she's okay.
Right.
If Hela ever destroys you with one hand and then I lose you and I'm not worthy to hold you no more, but make sure that Jane's okay. Like that shit just that ain't there. So that
Yeah,
was
not
very
that like that. Because he's had some
very
moments
odd.
where he's had some like philosophical moments where he's just talking and it's him and the Hammer. He's had moments like that. But yeah, he didn't have moments like, yo, I need you to go like protect my girl at all costs like that, baby girl, you know. But I love you
Yeah.
too, you know what I'm saying? You know, nah, yeah, shit. So and my last one is
Okay.
when it came to Gore, what did you think about that whole end thing? Because they like with the thing of like obviously he was dying from the sword or whatever, and it was like okay, in the
Kind of
comics
dying
he
from
had
the
many
sword,
children, right? In this one, they was like we're gonna focus on him just having a daughter,
which I
and
get,
it was huh?
which I understand. Yeah.
And I mean, to me, I thought that was lame in the sense of I understand it, but to me, it was like this is just their way of saying this is going to be female Thor later on, guys. Don't worry, that shit's still happening. Um, it is, but
Yeah, maybe.
I I want to know what you thought of the fact that again we had another great villain die,
Mm-hmm.
and because they definitely could have had him live. To me, he should
Oh,
have
for
100%
sure.
lived, and
Yeah.
they could have really had some fun stuff. They really could have. But anyway, we'll get into that another time because I got a lot on that too. But anyway, what do you think of him dying and his daughter coming back, and now her having Stormbreaker? What did you think of that? All of that.
Not
That was the
happy.
wish because it seemed like they the way they had it that wish even came apart was kind of lame to me too. Where he's like he had his mind on one thing, he's like no. How about you bring your dead daughter back? But who's gonna? I'll raise her.
That was weird too.
Really?
Yeah,
What did you
I
think?
would. So Marvel has a terrible history of killing villains immediately. Uh, Loki and Thanos being the only ones to really make it pretty far. Uh,
Yeah.
of course, I wanted Gore to continue because Gore is one of the more badass villains that exist. But I had a good feeling. I mean, we even discussed it here. I had a good feeling that Gore was not long for the world of the MCU.
Yeah. You did.
His last minute change of heart, I I don't know. I don't. It's like it's expected, I guess, seeing what we have seen, but it's still disappointing because it's like, well, then what the fuck was the whole thing about? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like his whole mission was to end uh the gods. And I
Yep.
get that he was then separated from the Necro Sword, but that should make him want what he wanted even more.
Yeah.
Because like, well, now I don't have the Necro Sword to do it, so now I need to ask Eternity to do it.
And I'm right here and able to actually do it.
Yeah. So, I mean, as a plot point, like I get that he can't just be like, all right, now kill everyone and, no more Thor. But I'm still just like that, like in 2 seconds, he was just like, okay, let my daughter go on and let me just trust Thor to raise him. Like,
a total stranger.
I don't know.
That makes no sense.
You spent the whole movie trying to kill this man.
A fucking god. That makes no sense.
You just spent the whole movie trying to kill this dude, and now he's gonna raise your girl.
Let you raise my daughter while I die.
Yeah, that's like if I would challenge someone to a duel, and then he stabs me, and I'm like, as I'm dying, I'm like, fuck my wife. Like, and then I die. But now my last thought is this dude I was just trying to kill, just bending my wife over a table, really giving it to her. And I'm like, God damn.
Bro, same. It reminded me of in Naruto Shippuden when Naruto was like Pain had this whole thing on how the ninja world is, his like all the bad stuff that happened to him as a kid. He was forced with the Rinnegan, don't really know how he got it. It was all part of Madara's plan, which was all part of Black Zetsu's plan, which was all part of Kaguya's plan. It got beyond weird and it got stupid. But anyway, he eventually goes to the village, wipes out pretty much everybody, destroys the village, kills a bunch of main characters, kill Kakashi, not a bunch of main characters, but he kills Kakashi. He would FYI for everybody who watches this and don't understand, Naruto only won that fight because of the fact that Pain came into the village weakened and used a shitload of energy just to like destroy the village, and he was fighting before Naruto got there. Naruto was 100% healthy and full of chakra when he showed up, while Pain was basically below half. And still Naruto barely scraped out surviving that fight. So a lot of people are like, well, Naruto barely survived that fight. Pain would have killed him if it was a straight up fight. It would have been a massacre. But anyway, after all the stuff happens, Naruto eventually hunts Pain down and finds his real body. And he literally, within like 5 minutes of talking to him, makes Pain change up his entire mindset. And Pain revives the people he kills and then dies for doing that. And it's like, but why though?
So, exactly. So you're right.
That's why
it's
everybody has kind of meme in the anime community of Naruto talk no jutsu, and Pain is one of the highest ranks there because that was the dumbest way you could have ended it, and it made utter no sense. And that's exactly what I felt when I was watching. And I was like, oh, so Thor's a little bit of Naruto here. I mean, they both had yellow hair. Cool. Awesome.
Both have yellow hair.
And at the end of Shippuden, Naruto was doing shit like Jesus. He was just like, he was bringing people eyeballs back. He was reviving people who should have died. Like, I was like, oh, cool. Naruto's Jesus now. But anyway, one last one. This is my last one.
Japanese Jesus.
Yes. My last one is this one. What did you think of not Zeus, but Hercules only showing up briefly at the end?
So we did get a brief showing of Hercules. It seems that Hercules is going to be set against Thor.
Which that makes sense because they've came at each other many times, and that's a lot. They do battle
many times. Well, so many times in the Silver Age. So we're talking like early Thor, like in the 60s. They definitely used to not get along. Then
now they're friends.
They're friends. Not only are they friends, but Hercules just joins the Avengers. So he's does a complete 180. He's now fighting for the good team. Thor goes off and does his shit, which I still think that's what's going to happen here. I still think we're going to see Thor maybe like one more time, maybe two more times or whatever. He's going to just go off and do whatever. I don't think they're going to kill him necessarily. If they didn't kill him here, they're not going to kill him. So I think he's just going to go off, do whatever. Oh, I need to do blah, blah, blah for new Asgard, whatever the fuck they make up. And then it's going to be Hercules for the Avengers team, whatever Avengers team they're putting together. I think that's what's going to happen. And so, however, they build that arc, but of course, we have hoped for things and been very wrong before, so that could be the case. But that's kind of where I'm at.
What if Jane died? And she did die.
Yeah, that is true.
So we've been right on a lot of things too.
We have been right often. So for me, that's how I see her. I don't think Hercules is going to be a major threat. I think it's just going to be like just a battle here. And then they're like, oh, we should be on the same side type of thing. And then, oh, you'd be a great candidate to take my place. And some stupid lame joke about that. And then, and then move on. I think that's what's going to happen.
I just thought it was so lame how they they was announcing Hercules so early on when this movie was even first announced, and how they had the guy cast and all this stuff. About it. Yeah, and they made a big deal about so many articles, and then he's literally just there for like a couple of seconds, and it was like
a couple of seconds. They got his costume. I will say though was dead on.
It was on point.
Spot on from the comics. The only one that I saw that was just like, boom, that like if I were to hand draw from memory Hercules down to the cufflinks and like the shade of green and like just how the shorts, the weird sandal, everything like that, spot on.
Yeah. And hey, we also got to find out that in the Marvel universe, you don't have to do much shit to get into Valhalla. We found that out too. Because there's no way you could tell me female Jane Foster, aka female Thor, deserved to be in Valhalla because of her little tiny feat that she did. Her assistance. That is not good enough to get into Valhalla.
If you die in battle, you get to Valhalla.
That is not how that actually is supposed to work. You're supposed to have great battles and then die in battle to get there. You're supposed to be a great warrior. Jane was not Thor for that long. And she helped save the world or the gods or whatever in a way. But at the end of the day, she didn't really do that much in the grand scheme of things. And you're telling me that's enough to get into Valhalla?
Apparently.
Okay.
All right, let's go ahead and knock out some of these last few things here. Yep. We have apparently concept art for Dr. Doom as a leak here. So
Doom-tastic, Doomerific.
Yeah, so apparently like right here, we're seeing this is concept art. So this is a concept art leak. We don't know if it's confirmed. We don't know what part it's going to be. This is not even like, this isn't even my final form. So we're not sure exactly anything more than that, but there he is in all his glory. So Dr. Doom, but we've been saying Dr. Doom for Black Panther 2 for a while. So I don't know, I don't know. I would assume it's going to be after credit thing, but it could be more than that. But yeah. So there we go. So there's the Dr. Doom news. But we've been seeing Easter eggs for Dr. Doom recently. Most recently with the Moon Knight show, where there was like the box in the van that said Von Doom Industries or whatever it was on it. So we have been getting little hints.
Yeah. Yo, why come the MCU is like, isn't it weird that in so many situations you'll see like in different shows or different movies, you'll see now that you'll have like characters dressing up as Loki for parties, like humans doing that, or there's like amusement parks and like Thanos type shit. Like, doesn't that seem a little weird that the MCU is basically like in their world after like events that what like Loki has did in real life? Imagine if somebody like, okay, I want to be careful what I say, but imagine if Loki showed up in New York and actually did the damage he did. You think somebody would dress like Loki and not get like that? Like, no one even gives them evil eyes or anything. I've been noticing that in movies and different shows that characters were like, you'll see like civilians dressed up as Loki, or there's like ice cream bars or something like that. That's like with Thanos and stuff up there. Like that seems weird to me. Does that seem weird to you?
It does seem weird. It would be similar to like it'd be similar to going to a Comic-Con.
Right.
I'm not saying it's exactly like this. I'm saying it's similar to going to a Comic-Con and dressing like Hitler, Kim Jong-un, Putin would probably be a more recent analogy. Because I mean essentially these are war criminals that are coming down killing people in New York, destroying things, a lot of crazy stuff, trying to take over the world type thing.
Right.
Madmen with grandeur, illusions of power. And yeah, so it would be similar to that, I
It
feel.
will be. We don't have freaking Hitler ice cream bars. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we have amusement parks just like with Hitler stuff. Like because it doesn't make any sense. Like that's beyond insensitive. Like, I've noticed that in like different shows and movies. I'm like, that's weird. Like no one gives them a bat, like looks at them weird or nothing. It's just like it's okay. Like that's just weird.
Blame Loki. Now there's a DB Cooper documentary on Netflix. I did see that there was a DB Cooper documentary. I haven't watched it, but yeah. Because they don't even know that they don't. I mean, other than I guess maybe what's been told, but they don't even know what Loki did beyond Earth. Loki doesn't show back up on Earth.
Think about it.
But there's also
there's no way you could tell me you don't know what Loki did in New York.
Okay,
after,
yeah.
Considering what he did in New York, there's no way the world knows what he did, and then obviously the world knows what Thanos did.
Right. So, I'm saying that they don't know what he did after New York.
Oh yes, yeah. They don't. Yeah,
so,
they don't know his heroic events. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm going for. I'm sorry. So yeah, so it's not unless somebody like told them, but even then it would be like, the game of telephone basically. Oh, they said this guy said that he said that they said that Loki ended up being a hero, and it's like that'd be like, oh, he said that she said that they said that Hitler didn't commit suicide. He's still alive hiding out in Brazil or whatever. And it's like, okay, it could be true, but it's likely not true based off of what we saw.
Yeah, all we know is the stuff that we could actually prove, and that was bad.
Yeah, exactly. But I was actually going to say it does remind me of when that small scene in Ragnarok where they show up on Earth in plain clothes like Thor and Loki, and then someone walks up to Thor for a selfie, and they like don't even notice that Loki is there. I thought that was strange because it's like you're not concerned. Like the only one concerned was Doctor Strange that Loki is back on Earth. Like I feel like everyone would have like been like, "Wait, aren't you the dude that like fucks?"
Like, oh god, like freaking out. Like, this can happen here now. Like,
wait a minute. So I just put that together the last time that I watched it like a while ago. I was like, that's kind of weird. Like I wouldn't be willing to stand so close to Loki there, but whatever. That's it. Maybe maybe a memo went around that Thor was like, Loki's okay now. He's all right, guys. It's okay.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. He's a cool guy.
Yeah,
cool guy.
The last that we heard was that he died, but now apparently he's not dead. But he's cool. It's all good.
He's cool now. Yeah. Forget that speech he gave in New York and all the shit he did. Forget all that.
Yeah. Cool or the shit in Germany that he did where he was saying Neil. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. Yeah. Vinyl Dragon says, bro, I saw something effed up. I was digging through records at the thrift, and there was an album called the KKK Jazz Band. They all had the hoods on, standing in a park with the instruments. What the fuck? All right. I don't even know how to respond to that.
All right.
Yeah.
So what else are we talking about, Dino?
I was actually gonna, and the only thing I could say in reference to that is that for some reason lately there has been an increased trend of comic books that have the swastika on the cover. For some reason they are selling for more as like history memorabilia or whatever. Yeah. And like I always thought that was weird. I was like, why would you put that as a selling point? Like the girl who, there's like a comic book, oh god, what is it? It's called The Girl Who Loved the Swastika or something like that. But it's a rare book, but like for some reason when dealers have it, they put it on the walls and they can't stop talking about it. And I'm always just like, why? Yeah. Like, and then I'll make fun of whoever's got it. I'll be like, why the fuck are you showcasing that book as like one of your prized books?
Yeah.
Like, oh, because it's a rare book and it's memorabilia.
Fuck how weird.
No, I don't. No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Right? Like this is this is your chance to talk about what you want to talk about, huh, brother? Like,
yeah. It's like the guy that sat up next to me one time, and he looked over at me, and he goes, "You're not a Jew, right?" Then proceeds.
Are you fucking serious?
Proceeds to pull out World War II Nazi memorabilia that he's selling, and I'm just sitting there like, what? Just like, First of all, not the way to start that conversation. Try again.
Really isn't.
Second of all,
yeah,
like I get that some of this stuff is valuable and does have a place in market and whatever. Like there are people that collect World War II memorabilia, whether it's Ally or not, or Axis Power stuff. I get that, but Comic-Con, maybe not the place. Just maybe.
like, honestly,
And also saying
deserve an
you're
ass
not a
kick.
Jew, right, is not the way
Yeah.
to say I've got some Nazi shit I want to show you. Like, I don't know. Just me though. Just how
You're
I
not
felt
a
about it.
Jew, right? Like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you're not. I was like, what if I am a Jew? I don't know. Like, what? What if the answer to that question was actually
After that question, I would just been like, "Don't speak to me anymore, please. Just sit right there, do your thing. Don't say nothing else to me no more."
I try not to talk to this person anyway because he's weird. Other than that, but that was just like the icing that I was just like, all right, this dude is like,
yeah.
I can't deal with this guy.
Like, you better hope I don't whoop your ass after this event. Get my money first. I'm whoop your ass.
Oh, that's totally like being in a line somewhere and someone is uncomfortable around and they totally try to find a way to relate to you while you're standing there rolling your eyes. Shank that guy selling the stuff next to you, then throw it all in the trash. Final Dragon is on the shank tip today. Shank everybody. Shank everybody.
That's my boy though. Love that guy.
All right, last thing I want to talk about
for
tonight, the Miss Marvel. We got the Miss Marvel finale.
Yes.
And I gotta say, start to finish, I still enjoyed the show overall. It had one weird episode with like the flashback. The flashback episode that it had was a little strange. Just because I felt like it dragged on a little longer. But other than that, that was really my only complaint for the show. Thought it did a really good job. As far as a show marketed towards children and also towards Pakistani, Middle Eastern, Muslim culture. I thought it was fantastic. The villain, it was nothing super serious. We didn't get like a super overpowered Miss Marvel.
Good.
Yep, it was a very, coming into terms with her powers. So it wasn't like automatically she was super amazing at what she could do. There was definitely the learning curve was there. I liked that aspect. I liked the animation. Overall, solid B plus for this show. Was fantastic. And at the end of it, we got the small hint of basically her friend saying, hey, while I was looking into the things that you were asking me to look into, I happened to notice that in your genes, or like in your blood sample, your genes, there was a mutation to you. And she kind of blows it off saying, it's another thing that they're going to label us as or label me as, kind of a thing. But the fact that he said a mutation is and a very obvious nod to the mutants and to X-Men on the horizon. So whether or not they're going to say, oh, she's the first mutant, because technically, I don't think so. I think they may stop using the word enhanced, which will make me happy, because even during episode 1, when I was telling you, that was my only problem, that they're still using the term enhanced, because I was like, oh, really? But now maybe we're out of that. So that would be a plus. And maybe this is going to start ushering in the talk of the mutation and mutants and that they're out there in the world, and start kind of bringing them together, type of thing. So I think that would be kind of cool.
That would be kind of cool. That would indeed be cool. So I'm definitely happy that it was a good show, because you said you liked it better than Moon Knight.
I did. Yeah. Overall, I did. I thought it was more solid and made more sense. Moon Knight, I thought psychologically was there. So like it could have been an extra couple episodes, I think Moon Knight could have been. And it like would have all kind of come together. But Moon Knight just didn't, it wasn't Moon Knight fighting. Like, you know what I mean? Like with Miss Marvel, we got, this is what she does. This is, Miss Marvel, and she's got, a villain that's not necessarily like crazy overpowered or anything, is someone that she can take as a first villain. and we got to see how her powers worked and how she was able to fight and get out of certain situations. With Moon Knight, it kind of skipped over that part for the most part. We got to see him fight like a few times,
Right.
but other than that, it was just
A
like,
lot
all
of
right,
like flash moments where he would like
yeah,
wake up and then a situation's already been handled and was like, we never actually saw how that. We'll
right,
never see how that actually got handled. Cool.
yeah. So it was a little, yeah. It was Moon Knight for me. It was just, it was still good, I
It
thought,
was
but
good.
it
Yeah.
was just,
It was okay at least.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I put Miss Marvel like, if it was like, I wouldn't be like, oh, Miss Marvel was leagues ahead of Moon Knight. I'm not,
Yeah.
but I think that it had an edge on Moon Knight, for sure. Vinyl Dragon says, Black Santa, I forgot to mention, you should have gone to the barbershop and got lined up rather than go watch Thor in the theater. You said the bootleg would be playing there in 4K anyway.
Bro, you right, bro. I could have did that, man. Shoot. Man, I could have did that.
Speaking of I've been going back and rewatching The Wire. I've actually finally got through most of season 1 for like the first time ever. I will say that it gets a lot better if you're able to power through like those first 4 episodes. But the
See,
first
I was
4
just like,
episodes
all right, that sounds
drag.
good. Did you say I got to power through 4 episodes?
Yeah, it drags.
That's
Dude,
a
it's
lot.
a slow build
Yeah.
up, but once it starts going, I'm like, holy shit! Like, there's a reason that they say it's one of the best shows on television. Which I figured that not everyone was just like saying this shit. Like,
Yeah.
if everyone's classifying The Wire as one of the greatest shows of all time, is like, there's got to be some truth to it. Like, it's got to be at least decent, right?
At
So,
least something. Yeah.
but yeah, the first 4 episodes is mainly like cop politic, and it's just like, ugh. So you got to sit through, but you got to sit through that so you know who the characters are, and then after that, it starts being like, oh shit, like shit's going down pretty much every episode, type of thing. So, I will say that was it does get interesting. So I did.
All right, well, power your way through Supernatural for me. Nothing. Power your way through Supernatural for me, then you can see why that's great as well.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Last thing that we were going to talk about, I was going to throw it your way on the mic. Here is that Resident Evil has surpassed Stranger Things on Netflix as the #1 show for streaming right now. However, I have not heard the best things about Resident Evil. So I haven't seen it. Chris, you've seen a little bit of it. Why don't you go ahead and lay it down for us?
All right. There was a crappy Resident Evil movie that came out like maybe last year, maybe even this year, but it came out not that long ago. And that crappy movie that everybody crapped on, and it is bad. I've seen that. It's a bad movie. It's bad acting. It's just bad. And that movie is more Resident Evil than what the fuck on the TV this TV series is. It didn't feel that much like Resident Evil. It was just like, yeah, I know there's like zombie type things and people guns. It didn't feel like Resident Evil. It was just weird and it's bad. So I don't understand how. Maybe there's nothing else to stream or nothing else going on. But
Netflix is struggling right now. But do you think that it was just name recognition? That it's like everyone's just like, oh, Resident Evil, so they went to play it.
I do think that helps out a lot because you can sell a lot of things if like you got the right name and you just use, like you said, name recognition. Resident Evil. I mean, it's one of the biggest franchises in the world. It has like a bajillion video games. Legitly, like what, 8? We're at Resident Evil 8. It has tons of spin-offs.
And the games I've heard, because I've not played any of the games, but I've heard the games are like nothing really like any of the movies / the show.
Yeah, I remember the games came out first, so the movies would be like the games. And yeah, the movies that the original Resident Evil movies that are like, I guess you could say, quote unquote famous, the original ones with that girl is nothing like the movie. Unlike the games, the only thing similar is some of the names that show up when Jill shows up or Nemesis shows up or whatever the case may be. When the named characters show up or whatever, and whatever fate they will have, most of them die anyway. And again, the movies is dumb. But it's nothing like the video games. If you watch the movies and think it's similar to the games, no, you will not understand what the hell is going on because it's totally different. The games are just, the games, and honestly, those movies, I really rewatched them, And when I first saw the movies, I was like, yeah, okay. But I've rewatched them and was like, man, these are really bad, actually. They're kind of bad.
The first
They're really
Vinyl
cheesy. The
Dragon
first one was
says
okay, but it got bad.
the first half is pretty good, but yeah, it's totally like Riverdale or something. They need to bring back that scary little girl, the Red Queen from the old films.
Yeah,
I mean, was the Red Queen even? I don't think the Red Queen was even in the game though, right? That little girl, the computer thing that was like helping them through the
no, she was not in the games like
yeah
that. No, that was
yeah
just not. Most of that crap was, I mean, all of it, honestly, was just made up the way they want to make it up. Because, like,
yeah
even when they got to the point where they was like in the deserts basically, and everything was like to shit, yeah, that doesn't really happen in the games at all.
right.
Things go bad, but other cities and other civilizations are perfectly fine. Like everything don't go that bad whatsoever. Where
Gotcha.
they're fighting, like it was the movies just really didn't make much sense in the grand scheme of things. And the games obviously is what the games is obviously better, but it's just great because how even in Resident Evil 7 when that came out and that changed up a lot of things, even the characters there didn't really know much about the shit that popped off in the world in other games. Like they didn't know really about Raccoon City and all that stuff like that. They had their own shit to deal with. And the main character had his own stuff going on with his girl or whatever. So like it was just the movies are just shit. I don't think
I
there's ever a
remember.
good Resident Evil movie. The first one,
Yeah.
but now.
I remember watching them. I don't know how far I got, but it was a very long time ago. I was watching them with Alexis. Really, the only thing that sticks out in my mind is that the girl was, looked halfway decent, and she had a nice little nude scene. Now, whatever. And the laser scene where they run through a hallway and the dude gets like chopped into little bitty pieces by the
Yeah,
laser.
the black guy, the commander, he gets like chopped up. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that's really all I remember. Like that is, I do remember the creepy little girl that's like, you can't do this, or she's like a British little girl, so you can't
Yeah.
do this. And that I kind of remember her. Yeah, the laser was the freaking laser. Was really all I remember
I love all those. Yeah.
from that movie. So not memorable at all. When I saw that it like hit number, because I saw it come to Netflix and it was like premiered at the number 3 spot or whatever. I was like, okay, whatever. I'll wait to hear if I see any if I hear anyone talking about it, I'll give it a watch. And then nobody was talking about it, and then it hit number 1. I was like, still no one in the group chats, no one that I see on stories or nothing talking about it. I'm like, all right, whatever. Then I go check the Rotten Tomatoes, like a 20% positive. I was like, oh no, okay. So they're watching it. They're watching it because it's Resident Evil, but they're not impressed with it. It's kind of the thing. And so I was like,
that's
no.
basically what it comes down to. It's gonna have a bunch of people watching to see if I think a lot of people watching to see if we're finally gonna get a good live action Resident Evil thing.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also becoming a no. And that's the problem.
See, I don't even remember who they diced up. He said, "Why you got to dice up a black man?" Typical. I don't. At least
that's exactly that's one of them. Like to be fair, I don't remember pretty much all the movies, but a lot of this, some of the movies that ain't up front is bits and pieces. But yeah, that is definitely something I will never forget. Because when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, the black guy got to die like that." I'm pretty sure like one of the first people to die too.
I was just gonna say, was he the first to die?
I'm pretty sure he was. I'm pretty sure he's the first person to actually go down. He was one of the first for sure. And I was like, they had him doing all the cool stuff and dodging, and then they was like, please. And they had like all the shit just hit him. I was like, are you serious? Are you serious? Because when I first saw it, I was like, oh man, he's gonna live. The black guy's actually gonna like, really? Yeah, this is all bullshit.
Oh shit. It shouldn't be that funny, but it is fucking hilarious. Looking back on old movies like this, it's like, you can see the trends. Oh my gosh, it's funny.
Yeah, you can. Because in a bunch of the other future Resident Evil movies too, the black man or black girl, yeah, they died.
Of course. It's just typical. I will say, like, the one movie that you like is like not that stereotype at all is the original George Romero, Night of the Living Dead. The black man makes it all the way to the end. He outlives everybody in this zombie film. And then the police show up in the morning and think he's a zombie and pop one right in his head. They shoot him right in the fucking head. As he's like, I'm the one, I made it. Boom, right in the head.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, he's so close.
It was a white man who shot him too. Yeah, I know.
Sure, it was a cop. Of course, it was a white man.
He's like, oh, it was a cop. Of course, it was a white man, especially back then, right?
Bro, it was a cop in the '60s, dude. Like, shit was like, of course, there was a white dude shooting him at the end of the movie. He's like, oh, that's probably another one of them zombies. Boom.
Yeah. He was like, we took out 2 birds with 1 stone there.
Yeah, got him, Carl. We did some good police work today.
Yeah. You gotta kill a black man and a zombie. It was perfect today. Oh my God. Wait till I go tell my wife. Yeah. Great times.
Oh my God. But yeah, that's like the one. I think that's the only horror movie that pops to mind where a black guy almost makes it out, or he is at least the last to die. So he is the very final death.
Nah, that doesn't make it better whatsoever.
I know it doesn't make it better, but at least he made it to the very last second of the movie, because it was literally like the last 10 seconds, and then it just kind of like pans out. It was like nobody lives. That was definitely one of the original. I think probably one of the first movies that it creeped me out a little bit. Even though it was like shitty graphics, black and white, old time thing, there were like a couple of good scares in that movie that I was like, oh God, they got me. And it didn't help that my dad was like, of course he knew the classic movie, and he was just like sitting there talking shit the whole time, like, oh man, they're going down to the basement, oh, what's gonna happen? Like that kind of thing. So, like, it just creeping me out. I had like little 10-year-old me watching this movie.
At least now there is more horror movies where people of color live. But damn, back then that was definitely a no-no.
The Vinyl Dragon said, dude, I went to see it at AMC. The whole entire theater went, mm-hmm. Yeah. Only one where the black guy made it. That's right. Get Out was the only one where the black guy made it. Yeah.
No, there's other horror movies because again, remember, just perfect, literally off the top of the head, I can think of a few, but off the top of the head, Halloween. One of the movies with Busta Rhymes, the one Busta Rhymes in, they live, and Busta Rhymes does karate.
Busta Rhymes does karate.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, if that don't tell you to want to watch this movie right there.
Him and Michael Myers start fighting, and he starts like beating him up with karate, and I was like, everybody was like, "What the fuck?" It's weird as hell. It is weird.
He should have challenged him to a rap battle.
Yo, bro.
Oh,
you, bro.
Yo, Busta Rhymes would have beat him so fast with them. He dropped them bars so quick. They were like, "What the fuck?"
But yeah, that was one of the movies. That was so weird though. He just started doing karate.
Although the guy was running at night, and the way the one black guy was at the Southern party when he flipped out, that shit scared me. Are we still talking? With Get Out? Jordan Peele's got like 2 more movies coming soon.
Remember, we got Nope coming out soon.
Nope is dropping very soon, which we finally got like an extended trailer for that one, so we have a little bit more of an idea of what's going on there. He has something else that's coming out too. He's been putting in work.
He does.
I don't remember what the other one is. But I think that the other one is like still a little early, so they're just kind of doing like little teasers. But yeah, he's putting in some work, man. He's doing some good stuff. So I am excited for Nope. Hoping that one's good. I was just gonna say one last thing about Resident Evil is that when we were at Heroes Con, we saw someone cosplaying. I don't know who it was in Resident Evil. Justin recognized it because Justin is a gamer like yourself, and he loves the Resident Evil franchise. So
was it a female or man?
It was a female.
Was it Jill?
Dude, I couldn't tell you.
Oh, okay.
I really couldn't. But he was talking mad shit about the costume and her. Like, I was like, damn, dude. He's like, oh, she probably ain't even a real Resident Evil fan. Like you're just going off. I was just
bro, I'm the same way, bro. We get very offended if you gotta have attention to detail if you cosplay a character from a game. For me, a game or an anime. If you if you cosplay that character, it better be perfect attention to detail. And if it's not, we got problems. We got problems.
Stay tuned for my Plastic Man cosplay. It's coming soon. I'm telling you right now. It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be fire because I'm gonna make sure you're gonna show me that shit. I'm gonna make sure it's fire.
I'm gonna do the classic. I already decided I'm not doing the pants. I'm doing the short shorts. So it's gonna be the short shorts with the black and yellow with the black and yellow belt. I'm gonna get the shoelace, so it's gonna be a nice deep V, and it's gonna have the shoelace string going across. I'm telling you, man. I may even have to find some ballet slippers so it looks like I'm barefoot. I ain't going barefoot to a con. That's disgusting.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I'll get some ballet slippers so it look like, because Plastic Man walks around just barefoot. So
what you think you Ryu now, walking around the world barefoot?
No, that's gross.
Savage,
But I will. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna pull it off, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna.
I always looked at Ryu as like the most dangerous hobo that you could ever challenge to a fight.
Most dangerous hobo. That sounds like a great.
He's a fucking hobo, yo. He's the definition of a hobo.
That's just like, I feel like that'd be a great comic title. The most dangerous hobo.
You're right. Somebody's gonna steal that shit. Like a month later, we're gonna see a movie coming out. The most dangerous hobos. Like, really?
Yeah, you're welcome to whoever picks that one up. We've got some good ideas.
It's gonna star Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves, the most dangerous. He do look like the most dangerous.
I know, he does. He does.
Oh shit! Every time they kill a Hispanic or black guy in a movie, I'm surprised they don't play Crossroads for a few seconds. Jesus Christ, dude! Justin is a little thug. He flipped out the other day with that crazy milkshake post and stolen tip jar. Oh yeah, Justin. He worked for this pizza place or whatever, but they do work on tips, like a little restaurant or whatever. And someone just snatched the whole tip jar. This shit was wild. I was like, damn, Detroit be bugging. They be crazy out there.
It is Detroit, man. Come on. Yeah, Detroit.
Yeah, man. Well, so yeah, there was like Justin's run into some bad luck recently. He was trying to move into Manhattan and get an apartment out there. And then he didn't have sufficient credit. I don't mean to spill this man's, history or nothing, but like, it was just like one of those things. I've been telling this man for years to get a credit card or a gas card or something and just build a little bit of credit. Yeah. So that he's like, nah, I own my house and like, I don't need credit. I pay everything in cash. I'm like, okay, but it would probably be smart and wise to at least have something, just something, whatever it is. They deny him the apartment because of credit. And I was just like, that's tough. Then he gets this new job with this like online work from home job. Gets the job. He actually interviewed at Heroes Con, so he had to leave and do like an online interview while he was at Heroes. Nails it. Gets the job. They offer him perfect. Cool. Awesome. So it's looking good. Then they like move some shit around internally in the company and fired the last 10 hires. So he got the axe from that. But he had already quit his job
because he thought he got this.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, oh, dude, that's rough. But he's already picked something else up. So he's definitely a hustler for sure. So I knew he was gonna be all right. But like,
that's right.
I was like, damn, dude, he's falling onto some rough times out there in Detroit. But now he's gonna be okay. But yeah, his move to New York has been delayed, unfortunately. But
yeah,
he'll get there. I know
he gonna bounce. Hell yeah, because like you said, bro, he a hustler. And us hustlers know, man, we can sell salt to a slug. We understand it, bro.
Salt to a slug. I like it. That's right. What's the thing that they sell, or they say in Wolf of Wall Street? Like, I could sell drugs to a nun or whatever.
Damn, really? I ain't heard that one. Damn.
Yeah, they like I could sell drugs to a nun and what, I don't know, whatever. My thing with nuns was like I could get a nun out of the habit quicker than Nicorette. As like my thing, little smooth action for you. But that's all right. I think that's where we're gonna end it with a little nun joke. We appreciate it. Again, hit that like button if you could. Whether you're live or on the replay, we appreciate you. We're here every Tuesday night. We love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. As always, stay villainous and